Welcome back to the Virtual Light broadcast at lightworker.com. Today's date, August 29th, 2009. This is segment 2, and here's Tony.
Thank you. Well, our first guest today is a true Renaissance man when it comes to metaphysics. So let's have a big welcome for Dr. Richard Jelusich. Well, Richard, you wear many hats. Let's start with your hat as an author. And you've written 2 fascinating books. First one is The Eye of the Lotus. Would you care to talk about that?
Well, briefly, it's about how we have a chakra system, and one of the chakras would be more dominant than the others. And chakras are us, just us on a higher level and not limited to space or time. So one of those chakras might be more dominant and therefore color our perceptions. Each chakra has a different, unique psychic ability attached to it, so it causes us to perceive differently. Just like you might be right or left-handed, and you might write your name with your right hand. There's nothing wrong with your left hand, you just favor one. So we tend to dominate in one chakra more than the rest.
Yeah, I was fascinated to see that you say that chakras 2 through 6
yeah,
are the dominant ones. So does that mean that the 1st and 7th are kind of input and output?
Yeah, well, this book is a book of my opinions, and the way I see it is chakras 1 and 7 are like gateways. The first chakra to physically even be here, to have a physical existence, and the 7th like a gateway to all the higher dimensions.
So could you run through the 5 dominant ones and say, well,
Sure.
what would someone be like with a dominant second?
Second chakra, creativity, burdens, responsibility, sexuality, sensuality. The psychic ability of the second chakra is called the energy of the mystic. It's how you can see things as whole and complete or perfected. And remember, all the chakras are on. They're never closed, so all these abilities are present in all of us. The third chakra, or Manipura, is the incisive ability, one who can see the bottom line, get to the point, the man behind the curtain. The fourth chakra, of course, we know is the empath, right? That's the ability to feel how someone could be as emotionally whole and complete, or to see the symmetry, which love is a perfect symmetry, so it's the profound nature of what love represents. The fifth chakra, which is Vishuddhi, is about telepathy, or the meaning, or more correctly, the comprehension of all things. And the sixth chakra is like the one who incepts the new paradigm, the new way of doing things that haven't even been grounded onto this plane yet.
And how could somebody get a hold of this book? Is it on Amazon or through your website?
Yeah, this book is on Amazon.com and on my website, and it's now also on Kindle on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know we'll be putting the website up later, but what is your website?
It's www.lightnews, all one word, lightnews.org.
Okay, thank you. Now, the second book, I Can Relate. This talks about how, depending on which chakra is dominant, 2 people could have totally different relationships with...
That's right. The first book is the psychology of the chakras, how they work, and the second book is more like relationships, and how, like, if I have a dominant third chakra and yours is dominant in the fifth, how you and I would get on with each other as friends, or 2 people have a relationship, or co-workers. And those dominant chakras cause us to perceive reality in a little bit different way, so we tend to react to each other in like attracts like, and like attracts unlike, different types of relationships. There's 27 case histories in the book that give examples of those types of relationships.
So is it true that similar dominants would really get on together well, or would you end up fighting?
It depends. It's like sometimes you can push 2 north ends of a magnet together and they oppose, and sometimes not. It just depends on the person, their spiritual development, how they react with the like attracts like, can be tremendous team building as well. Yeah.
And while we're talking about products, you've also produced this this CD, Crystal Bowls of Tibet. So we were talking earlier about how you recorded this. Would you care to tell the viewers?
Well, a lot of my studies are in light and sound and form, And what makes this CD different is it is about crystal bowls, but I used a technique that uses microphones that are shaped like the cochlea. That's the inner ear. And you actually wear them on your glasses here. So the microphones are actually in the same place where you hear. And I sat in the middle of 7 pedestals of 7 bowls, and we tone the bowls in different directions. So the sound comes from different areas to entrain the mind, to increase harmonization. It's a great meditative technique.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how could somebody get a hold of the CD?
Through my website. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to some of the other hats you wear. I am absolutely fascinated by what you call flower readings.
Oh, yeah.
Would you care to talk about that?
Well, flower readings are very popular. I do them all over the place, and basically it's a group setting up to 12 people. And the premise is each person brings one flower that they've held, and they put it on a table where I'm going to sit, meaning there's 12 flowers on the table, and then I come in and sit down. So I have no idea who brought which flower, so it completely takes out any bias. It's complete anonymity, and the point is to show that we really do leave the essence of who we are and what we represent on everything. It doesn't have to be flowers. If we were all a bunch of guys, we could have done wrench readings. It really doesn't matter. But the point isn't to prove that I'm psychic. The point is to prove that we're all intuitive, because some people will say, well, am I psychic too? And you know, if you have a chakra, your chakras are you, just you on a higher level, and they're not limited to space or time. So by definition, everyone is intuitive and connected to each other. So the flower readings are meant to show this deep connection, and I record everything on a CD, and everybody gets a copy of the CD of their reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So would it be a flower that I bought at a florist or picked from my own backyard?
It could be anything. We had a flower reading last night. Someone brought a clump of a plant from outside. People have brought flowers from a florist, and some people have a sense of humor. One time, a person brought a 1-pound bag of flour to a flower reading, and it was here in Las Vegas that happened. So, yeah, it really doesn't matter what it is.
So, suppose we did have a spark plug event. A bunch of guys bring along a spark plug or
Yeah.
flower.
Yeah.
What kind of things could you tell me about by reading my flower?
Pretty much just about anything. What I look for is I spend about 10 minutes on a flower. My eyes are shut. I'm concentrating on what I see, and I'm looking for what I feel you're going through right now. What's going to help you the most? So I look for which chakra is excess or deficient, which past life is affecting this one and how it is. And I can see birthmarks on the body, where they are, how you got them, what they mean, and if it was something that occurred in a past life, how it relates to this lifetime. And of course, I cover a lot of information in just 10 minutes, so therefore that's why it's also recorded. So I'll bring forth what I think I need to help the person empower themselves.